Sean Murphy-Bunting, Anthony Nelson, and MJ Stewart are in the injury report, all listed as questionable.
The Washington Redskins are at the Carolina Panthers. The Redskins are 30th in the power rankings. Panthers are 17th, and they are favored by 10 points in this particular game, as Kevin has to go and talk Cowboys with whomever the Secretary General is at this particular point in time. Both an actual and moral victory last week for the Redskins. James, I could easily lock the Panthers in. I'm surprised you didn't lock the Panthers in this particular game.
Because I told you all last week Washington was going to beat Detroit, and you laughed at me. So I actually see a scenario that Washington wins the game this week. So I'm not overly confident that Carolina wins this game. Look, I get that Haskins is still learning. The offense sputtered last week. Detroit played somewhat okay defense for the most part. And Haskins is a rookie, so he's going to get confused by looks. This is a game that I legit believe can go either way, and it's in Carolina, right?
It is, where it will be 65 degrees with AM rain. So the rain should be done in Charlotte by the time kickoff occurs.
Yeah, and that's the only reason I picked Carolina, because if this game was in Washington, I would have picked them. Quick hits on the injury. Greg Van Roten, the guard, and Dontari Poe, defensive tackle, were both placed on injured reserve today. Ross Cockrell, the cornerback, and Jordan Scarlett, running back, are listed as questionable. For Washington, Deron Payne is questionable, along with running back Chris Thompson. Dwayne Haskins has a slight wrist injury that he sustained in the win Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, the Redskins won last week, James, but they really shouldn't have. I mean, the Lions really screwed up there in the fourth quarter.
I'm sorry, did you not see Driscoll play? Because that was horrible.
I'm not saying Driscoll was a great quarterback, but I mean, the Lions' defense is really what let them down in that game.
Nah, the fact that the Lions' offense was able to score points was what was scary to me, because Washington's defense is much better than that.
All right. Well, that game is going to be a lousy one. This game is frankly awesome and probably should be the game of the week. I don't understand how it didn't get flexed out, but I'm not going to complain too badly, because my team is the one that would have been flexed out. The San Francisco 49ers are 10-1. They are on the road at the Baltimore Ravens, who are 8-2. That's why it didn't get flexed, because it's a West Coast team going East Coast with the early kickoff. I see. It's a conspiracy against my boyfriends. I totally understand now. Ravens favored by 6 in this particular matchup. It's also a shame that Fox doesn't have the 4 o'clock game this week, because this would be a perfect game to be featured at the 4 o'clock position. In any case, 49ers, points for and against. They have averaged 30.2 points a game while allowing only 14.8. The Ravens are atop of the league at 35.1 points per game while allowing only 18.4. So despite all of the praise that the offense is getting for Baltimore, their defense is actually one that you don't want to be sleeping on. I know you in particular, James, are one of those that like to knock around Jimmy GQ.
He had a good game last week.
Well, not only that, his numbers aren't as bad as you think. In his road games this year, he is 5-0, 9 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. That's not horrible.
It's not horrible. It's not. But and albeit I understand they're a division opponent, they've had 2 games against Arizona where they struggled mightily, and he almost gave one of them away. So, yeah, if San Francisco wins this game in Baltimore, I will ease back on my doubt on them. Again, I believe in their defense. I believe in their running game. I'm not completely sold on Jimmy Garoppolo if they have to lean on him to win. And that's only based on what I've seen in the games this year. And granted, they did win all of those games, but they could have easily lost because of him. Mm-hmm. So don't get me wrong. Sunday was a complete and total domination of the Green Bay Packers. And I take nothing away from them for that. Everyone played well from top to bottom, including Garoppolo. So kudos to having a great game, finally, with no mistakes for the first time in weeks.
My problem in this particular matchup is the Ravens are at home and Lamar Jackson is just that much better. He's passed for 13 touchdowns, no picks, a 143.7 rating, and rushed for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns in his past 4 games. That's MVP level. It really is. And even I broke down to put the Ravens at number 1 in the power rankings. My question, James.
About time.
If the Niners somehow pull off the victory here in this particular matchup,
will be my new number 1.
And the Patriots get another ugly win, are you going to move the Niners ahead of the Patriots, or are you going to put the Patriots back in their rightful spot?
No,
atop the league.
Because these two teams are playing each other, the winner of this game for me will be in the 1 spot, and the Patriots will stay at 2.
Yeah. If the Ravens lose, the Patriots will take back their number 1 spot for me, and the Niners will take over number 2.
Of course they will for you.
By the way, the Niners are number 3 in my power rankings. I have Ravens 1, Patriots 2, Niners
I believe
3.
I have the Niners 4 because of the Monday night loss to Seattle. A game in which the referees were trying to give to Frisco, and they just didn't take it. Quick hits on the injury. Matt Skura, the center for the Ravens, was placed on injured reserve yesterday with a knee. Michael Pierce, defensive tackle, and Ben Powers, the guard, show up as questionable. For the Niners, Dee Ford and Matt Breida show up as questionable, along with Joe Staley. Demontre Moore, defensive end, was placed on injured reserve on Monday after suffering a fractured forearm. Also showing up on the injury report, kicker Robbie Gould.
By the way, Staley's been on the injury report for weeks now, and Robbie Gould was out last week. The Matt Skura injury could be an important one here for the Ravens because obviously their offensive line, very key to all of these rushing yards. Bradley Bozeman is the backup center who was drafted in the 6th round last year. They also have, I don't know if this is an undrafted free agent at center, but he also plays guard, Patrick McCarry.
Matt Skura left the Monday night game early. I do remember that. Somewhere in the first half, he left the game. So they played basically the entire second half and part of the first half with that backup center.
Okay. It will be something to watch because that would definitely be an area to attack. The other thing I guess we should look at is definitely the weather, although I'm sure it's going to be very similar to, it shouldn't be similar to Charlotte, Soderbergh. That's horrible. 49 degrees in rain, 100% chance of rain too. So there you go. It's going to be a sloppy one, and obviously the rain will favor the running game.
Absolutely.
But also favors a defense, an opportunistic defense that the 49ers have. It should be a good one. It's a shame I have to watch Jets and Giants here in Connecticut, and I can't watch this particular game.
Split screening and watching this and my Eagles at the same time.
If there was ever a commercial for the Sunday ticket, this week is your opportunity, NFL. Go for it. 4:00 games. And we start with the Los Angeles Rams at the Arizona Cardinals. The Rams are 14th in the power rankings. The Cardinals are 22nd. Rams are favored by 3. Maybe Arizona will be just what the doctor ordered for the Rams. They've beaten them 4 straight times. Jared Goff had 2 touchdowns, 1 passing, 1 rushing, no interceptions in his last meeting against Arizona. I'm going to take the Rams in this one, but I'm not going to do it confidently. Apparently, I'm all alone because you and Kevin both picked the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, this just in on the Rams injury report, the offense lacking heart.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Look, expecting a team to win and then watching them go out and dominate. And the last two of the last three opponents, and not to just, skip back to the Ravens here, but I expected them to beat Houston. I expected them to beat the Rams, but the way they did it in both games, making those offenses look inept, was insane. Monday night, the Rams didn't look like they could do anything. And taking away Todd Gurley seems to be the MO for most defenses now. But if you do that with any type of effectiveness, the passing game seems to suffer as well, because I saw receivers, and they had all three of them healthy, Cooks, Kupp, and who's the other one I'm missing out
Robert
on?
Woods.
And Woods all played. But these guys, I don't know if it was them. I can't say they weren't running proper routes, because this offense is so precision-like when the passing game is working. Maybe it's the line blocking, maybe it's Goff throwing, but this offense is in complete disarray right now. And I'm not sure the Arizona Cardinals would be the, quote, get-right game for the Rams. Again, this is a divisional opponent, and the Cardinals have played everybody tough in their division thus far. They put two scares in the Niners because, they lost one game by 4 and another game by 10 only after a failed lateral resulted in a touchdown. So I wouldn't be so quick to say the Rams are going to turn it around. Maybe if this was the Dolphins, yeah, but not a team in their own division.
Listen, I know Robert Woods did better than Cooper Kupp last week, because dating back to last season, I am 1-2 against my son in fantasy football. Our matchup this past week came down to Robert Woods versus Cooper Kupp. I was horribly disappointed when I woke up Tuesday morning to find out that Robert Woods outscored Cooper Kupp.
Cooper
Kupp has let me down the last 3 weeks, quite frankly.
Oh, God. The real injury report for the Rams has Darius Williams, cornerback, Rob Haverstein, tackle, and Natrez Patrick, linebacker, all listed as questionable. For the Cardinals, Jonathan Bullard, defensive end, Tremaine Brock, cornerback, listed as questionable, and running back Trace Edmonds is nursing a hamstring.
I believe Eric Weddle's eyesight should also be listed on the injury report. As he mentioned this week that he didn't know half the time where the ball was against Lamar Jackson. I'm just saying.
Hey, 3 backs in the backfield will do that to you.
Yeah, I suppose. The Los Angeles Chargers are back in action. They are at Mile High. The Denver Broncos, the Chargers are ranked 21st in our power rankings. The Broncos are 28th. Chargers favored by 3. Chargers practiced in Colorado Springs for a week before they went to the mountain in Mexico City. Then they got a week off and now are back in Denver. Denver has won 2 of the past 3, including their previous meeting this season in October. Broncos are home dogs. I'm going to take another Monty special. I'm taking the Denver Broncos.
Adam and Eve on a raft, a cup of muck, and an upset special.
To beat the lousy, just pure and simple lousy Los Angeles Chargers, despite the fact the Chargers since 2017 have the best record in December. I'm still going with the Broncos here.
Yeah, and I don't begrudge you for that. I call myself picking the Chargers because they're supposedly the better team, but I'm not really sure with these two. You mentioned earlier that one of the games, someone wrote in both these teams are a joke. Yeah, that could apply to this game too. I'm not a believer in Phillip Rivers in any way, shape, or form. As our super fan normally puts in his write-ups, he puts the ball all over the field. I don't know if something's wrong with Phillip Rivers, but the way he throws the ball now, he legit looks like an 80-year-old trying to just throw an object to someone across the room. And it does not look fluid in any way, shape, or form. Whether something's wrong with him or not, the way he throws the ball it's scary. Just watching his body throw the ball because it looks like he's in a lot of pain when he's doing it. The rest of the team has talent all over the place, but I mean, he's the leader and he's underwhelming at